Kia ora koutou, welcome to this video about Pluto square the nodal axis. If that doesn't mean anything to you right now, hopefully it will be a bit more clear by the end of the video. My name is Fiona of Sun and Moon Calendar.nz, and I'm looking at the astrological energies according to Western tropical astrology, but from the point of view of New Zealand, or perhaps more generally, Southern Hemisphere. So if you like this video, please like, comment or subscribe to my channel. Now let's get into looking at what is Pluto, what are the nodes, and how are they mixing together in this tense square aspect at the moment. So the lunar nodes, or the nodes of the moon, square to Pluto takes place most intensely in July and August, especially the end of July, beginning of August, as this video is coming out. We'll be feeling it a little bit in June and also in September. So let's start by looking at what Pluto is and what it means for us, and the lunar nodes, what they mean for us. Both of them are pretty karmic points, or planet in the case of Pluto, and a lot to do with our purpose in life and where we experience transformation. I've talked a lot about Pluto this year because Pluto has changed from Capricorn into Aquarius for the first time in 14 years or so, and then it went back into Capricorn for a last journey through Capricorn and bringing about transformations, the final touches to those transformations in the sign of Capricorn. Pluto is an intense planet. It can be magnetic. It's about power, especially power that is very deep and hidden, not very clear on the surface sometimes. Wherever we have Pluto in our charts, that is an area that we will go through deep and transformative change during our lifetimes. Not easy change. It can be very painful change, and it can change everything. It can feel like a very grand destruction, and you can be left very raw and painful in pain, and then out of that you can rebuild your life in whatever area of life that occurs in, and slowly become like the phoenix rising from the ashes again. Because Pluto is so slow moving, whole generations are affected by Pluto's placement in one sign, and I did a video earlier this year about the Pluto generations in New Zealand that you might like to look back to. We've had Pluto in Capricorn for a long time, since 2008. This year Pluto went into Aquarius for the first time in 240 or so years, and it went in there for just 2 or 3 months, and then it's moved back into Capricorn, and it's finishing off the stuff to do with Capricorn. In Capricorn, Pluto has been transforming government, especially government and top-down hierarchical structures that we have been following and living under in society. As Pluto moves into Aquarius properly from next year, we will see more power and focus going to grassroots organizations, to the masses, to power to the people, so power spread more evenly across large groups of people rather than that top-down hierarchy. But that's a topic for another day. At the moment, Pluto is in the last couple of degrees of Capricorn, 28, 29 degrees. And 29 degrees especially is a very strong degree. It's a powerful degree where whatever is happening at 29 degrees, in this case Pluto being there, it's working to do the last jobs, the last work that it needs to do in that sign before it moves into the next sign. So we've got the power and intensity of Pluto combined with the power and intensity of that 29th degree, and also the lunar nodes are powerful and intense in themselves. So let's look at those. The lunar nodes are the eclipse points, and wherever they are, when there is a new moon or a full moon near to them, then there will be an eclipse. As I talked about earlier, the lunar nodes this year have just moved from Taurus and Scorpio into Aries and Libra. Wherever the north node, the north lunar node is, that is where we have a kind of an intense focus, an obsession with reaching out to that point. And in the last year and a half, while the north node was in Taurus, you will have seen that we had a lot of focus on Taurus matters like financial systems, how we use money, cash or not, Earth's resources, and how we look after the Earth. Now that the lunar nodes have moved into Aries and Libra, we're on the relationship axis. With the North Node in Aries, we're likely to see that there's more focus on individuality, the needs of the individual, and perhaps some of warrior energy. So Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn square to the lunar nodes in the late degrees of Aries and Libra. What might that mean? Let's look at those energies together. A square aspect is tense and stressful. It's about working through some blocks and challenges so that then something can become clear and move forward. Pluto is in the last degrees of Capricorn, so there is a focus on government and top-down hierarchical control, rules and regulations. And then we're looking at that in a tense aspect with Aries, the needs of the individual and the individual fighting for or wanting to reach for. But with Aries and with a tense aspect, it can be fighty, wanting to look for what they need as an individual. And this can include entrepreneurial spirit, the desire to take initiative, and creative energy. And then on the Libra side, the South Node is what we're leaving behind. And the South Node is in Libra. It's what we're leaving behind, and it's what we're already familiar with. Part of the energy of Libra is about justice and equal rights. And so that might be a theme that comes into play. And as you can see, as I've written on the slide there, there's a feeling of karma or destiny or fate about all of this, like it was all meant to be. It's a challenge that we were born to go through. And of course, it might not be that dramatic in your personal life, and it might not be intensely dramatic. I mean, it's all been pretty dramatic for the last 3 years, but this is part of that journey that we've been going through for the last 3 years. Something that can play out with astrology is that the stuff that's going on the world stage or on the national level can seem so awful. And yes, we will also be experiencing that in our personal life, but for the most part, it won't be quite as bad in our personal lives. And that's partly because of the way the news is reported. You know, they go for all the worst stuff, and there can be amazing things happening that we don't hear about. But anyway, however it affects you, there might be something where you've got this tension between the rules and regulations and the traditions and what you want to do, what you want to initiate, what you want to create as an individual. However it goes for you, I hope that coming out the side, you feel that the whole experience was actually the right thing and you are a lot better off than you were before it. Anyway, all the best, everybody, for that July and August square with Pluto and the lunar nodes. Ka kite.